Oh man, so Bitcoin is up about 1% today, allowing FANTOM to be up 1.5%. But the question a lot of you guys have is FANTOM is almost 35% down over the last 7 days. I think some of that's recovered, so about 26% down. But where is the bottom? That's what you're asking. Is there more downside risk? We're sitting at $1.21. We're going to cover that off in this video. I'm going to explain if I think FANTOM is now a wasted project after what's happened with Andre Cronje exiting. You guys know we've covered that off extensively here. We're one of the few channels that have dedicated so much time explaining what is going on with the Andre Cronje issue. We've even covered off what Michael Kong said, what have the foundation said. If you've not watched those videos, I will link those up so you guys can watch it. But here in this video, we can see that FANTOM is sitting here at $1.21, right? And we're getting a green candle today, which is great. And it's led by Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 1%, which we're going to take a look at. But that has allowed FANTOM to be up 1.46% here on the day. Now, the question to get to it straight away is, what is the bottom? And for me, I've made very clear that the neckline here from this cup and handle pattern, anybody who's been watching us for a long time, we were watching FANTOM here throughout this cup and handle pattern, and we identified, due to us getting rejected all the way back in May 21, that we had a neckline pattern here. And as soon as we broke this neckline at 96 cents here, you can see we ran it all the way up. We met our technical price target. We met 194, and then we got a beautiful retest of the 96 cents. So for me, I'm looking at the 96 cent as our bottom line. That's our bottom line. That is the line that if we breach it, I would be looking at the fundamentals really carefully to reevaluating whether this needs a spot in the portfolio. That's the level we're looking at here for FANTOM. And ideally, what's not ideal is that we've created a lower low, right? Because you got this low here. You then had this low here formed in December, Christmas time. And now we've breached lower than that. And the artificial reason for that is we know that Bitcoin was down and the wider market is down. We've covered that off extensively. But the whole Andre Cronje FUD is what has led us to create our new lower low. And that is why we're sitting here at $1.21. Let me give you a little bit more evidence behind that. So let's take a look at this. This graph shows you to the right-hand side all the coins that have performed worse than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's here over the last 90 days is down 19%. And you can see on the right-hand side all the coins from the top 50 coins, by the way, these are the best coins that are doing worse than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you can comfortably say, is leading the market, because if more than 75% of the top 25 coins, you can see that at the bottom here, if more than 75% of the top 50 coins are performing worse than Bitcoin, it is Bitcoin season. And then if all coins are performing better than Bitcoin, it's altcoin season. So it's clear we're in Bitcoin season right now, and you can see that by the score. We're far closer to Bitcoin season than we are in alt season, and you can see that visually plotted on this graph as well. We just dipped into Bitcoin season. Now we've kind of just above the line there. But here's what's interesting. FANTOM has still outperformed Bitcoin. This is phenomenal. FANTOM is down only 15% in the last 19 days, whilst Bitcoin has been down 19%. Can you fathom that, guys? Now, keep in mind, 30 to 40% of this downside has been in the last 7 to 8, 9 days since the Andre Cronje FUD. So FANTOM was, in fact, and we monitored it, was in this green. It was along with the likes of Waves, Luna, Atom in this area here. It was the few projects that were super outperforming Bitcoin over this period of time. And so straight away for me, this just reminds you that, hang on a second, this is an amazing project. And that 30%, I spoke about this in my video yesterday, that 30% that has just fallen off is pure cream on the top. If you're able to buy the dip, and I announced in my video yesterday that I bought some more FANTOM in the dip yesterday as low, I think as, let's take a look on the hourly. I managed to catch it on that low yesterday morning for me around this period here, close to 160. I think I got in at 117, 118. But that's the dip I'm picking up. And the reason for that is because I've got high conviction in this project. For me, if it continues to trend towards 96 cents, I'm buying more. But we can already see that it's starting to level out. It's got some good support at 116. We're sitting now at 121. We need to get to 126, which is our next support line, and build from there towards 147. It's going to be a long way up. But ultimately, it's going to depend on Bitcoin. And if we head over to Bitcoin, we need to spend time looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in this wedge pattern. Let me head over to the 4 hourly so you can see it a little bit clearer. This is the wedge pattern we're in. You can see how beautiful this wedge pattern is. Rejected 3 times to the top side. Good support along the bottom side. We're respecting it. And you can see we're respecting it right now as well on the 4 hourly candles here. Let's just zoom in. Still on the 4 hourly candles, you can see how we're behaving. Now, you'll remember that I said many months ago now that we were going to get some volatility. We're going to get volatility between now and the CPI reading, which was this blue line, which we've just got, and then the 16th, which is the Fed meeting. So we still got a couple of days left before then. And I fully expect us, if we get a good CPI reading, if we just get a 25% interest rate hike and nothing else is going on in terms of Russia and Ukraine to the downside, I can expect Bitcoin to rally to the top of this channel, retest 44.5. And then if we can break that, that's when we head to our 52, 53 target. That is the pattern I'm looking out for Bitcoin. The downside risk is if the Fed comes in and shocks the market, in which case we could lose our bottom here on Bitcoin and be heading back to 32, 33 region from a technical perspective at the bottom of the wedge. Those are the levels I'm looking out for. Now, if we take our bullish scenario here and we push through 44, you can easily see how now Phantom can start progressing up its key levels. And its key levels are going to be 147, 165, and then work towards 194. That's the level where we kind of fell from our pattern here. We were in a good pattern to the upside before falling down from Andre Cronje. So we're looking at between 194 and our much trusted level at 208 here on Phantom. You can quickly see any coins you manage to pick up here at 116, 117, you can quite easily double up just by Phantom getting to 208. And that is why, for me, somebody with high conviction in Phantom, this is a no-brainer purchase. But if you've not got conviction, you do not want to be aping into a project which you do not have high conviction in. Here's another stat for you guys to look at. Shout out to Forza Crypto on Twitter. He's got the right idea. On March the 10th, 2021, there were 261 new Phantom addresses created. Fast forward a year and 15,600 new addresses were created. If that's not exponential, guys, that's a 5,900% increase in number of wallets. This is not, some, speculation or wishy-washy stuff. This is people using the Phantom ecosystem. And the chart doesn't lie. We monitor this chart a lot on this channel. It's growing, and it's growing parabolically. If we head over to the TVL, I've noticed something interesting. We had a good run up here all the way to this level here, close to 12 billion before falling off. We're now sitting at 6.2 billion here, 6.6 billion, sorry, here on Phantom. And I think this is where it's going to level off now. That fall was the panic fall after the Andre Cronje issue. Now, some people shouldn't have panicked, but others were right to panic because there weren't clear information at the time, and we covered that off here on this channel. So that pretty much is the worst extent of the fall I think we're going to see now. I think you'll start to see a lot of this money start to flow in. Now that people start to read the statement from the Phantom Foundation, listen to what Michael Kong, the CEO, is having to say, and saying, hang on a second, these projects all have their own team. Nothing's happened. Multi-chain's not suddenly collapsed. Solidity's being handed over. Spooky Swap is doing just fine. Solidex is fine, right? All these projects which we use and where our money was tying up, generating us good yield, they're still around. It had nothing to do with Andre. He's been gone a week, and then soon it'll be 2 weeks and 3 weeks and 4 weeks, and they realize, hang on a second, all these projects are okay. Just like Michael Kong said, Andre Cronje was not actively managing 25 projects. No chance. The one you can argue he was working on closely was Solidly, and that's got a clear plan to hand it over, okay? So, this sheer number of TVL being thrown out here, 30%, 50% on Solidex, 24% on Guys Finance, it will slowly start to come back. Why? Because where else are those funds going to go? Are they going to go to Solana? Once you've used the Phantom system, you realize this is one of the most superior blockchains, and that is why Spooky Swap is one of the most used dexes out there as well in terms of layer 1 solutions as well. So all the fundamentals looking good. If we even look at the price action, you cannot complain. The only reason we're complaining is because Phantom has given us such a good story. We covered that off in yesterday's video. Just to read off some of this on my post-it note here, guys, for you guys. Whilst Phantom is down 63%, and by the way, since these numbers, Phantom's recovered a little bit because we're back at 121 from 117. The likes of Cardano down 74% from all-time highs. Solana 68% at the time of taking these snapshots. Algorand was down 72%, DOT 67%, Chainlink down 75%. So, we've just been spoiled by Phantom doing pretty well, sitting at 208 on a nice breakout of trend when the Andre Cronje news came out. So this, for me, is just nice opportunities to buy the dip. These are the kind of pullbacks that I love and I build my investment career chasing after. I find a great project with high conviction, and then I get a flash fire sale, and I absolutely love it because what happens is those without high conviction, they're the ones selling, and I'm scooping them up. And you'll notice all the other smart investors with high conviction are doing the same. Not financial advice, but this is what we have to learn to do. When there's mass panic or mass fear or FUD around a certain project, which doesn't stack up with the reality or the fundamentals or the on-chain metrics or looking at the protocols on Phantom or looking at the actual developers and who's actually building, At that point, I go, hang on, that is some free coins right there. I'm picking me up some more Phantom because it's an absolute no-brainer. If the wider market's falling, if something's happened with the system, if it's been hacked, something, you know, wrong technologically, or really one of the key developers or CEO leaves, at that point, you can evaluate it just like you would evaluate a business and say, okay, if Steve Jobs was to leave a company, if Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk was to leave a company, it will have an effect. But here, when someone like Andre Cronje left, who was just a figurehead who didn't actually do anything, that is perfect for me to go buy the dip and continue having my high conviction. Okay, hope you guys understand that. Hope you guys follow what's going on. Let's also take a look here at our daily chart, because I also want to show you how far off we are on our EMA ribbon. So if I can just get nice and zoomed in, and you can see we've got good extension to the downside from our EMA ribbon. Now we're well off our 200-day moving average, and this for me are great times to pick up. That is why you're seeing me active. I don't, you know, ironically, I don't want to be buying more because I've got a lot of Phantom and I've managed to buy in very cheap. So obviously when you buy in cheap, you don't want to buy more because you don't really want to increase your cost basis. But I'm training my psychology to say, hang on a second, this is cheap. We're 33% away from our 200-day moving average. It would be irresponsible for me at this point to not be picking up some more, given the conviction I have in this project. But obviously, I can't let Phantom become too much of my portfolio when there's so many other coins also on severe discount right now. So we have to be sensible. We have to manage our psychology. Phantom's got its allocation in my portfolio that I stick to, and I don't let it get out of hand from there. That's an important lesson for you all. Right, what I'm going to do now is at the end of this video, for those who haven't watched it, go and watch the video where I explain the Phantom Foundation's official statement. That video is from yesterday. If you've not understood that and watched that, go watch that. Also, go watch, that's going to be in the card I'm going to link up here. Also, go and find the video where I explain exactly what Andre Cronje did and what the implications are of that. That video's on over 10,000 views. Go check that out, hit the like button and subscribe there, and I'll see you in the next one.